Hi, this is Julie with Beadaholique, and in this video I want to show you how to wire wrap cup chain, and in this case I'm using pearl cup chain, onto a Nunn design open frame pendant. So here I've used a gold one, and in the video I'm going to use a silver, so hopefully contrast a little bit with the gold wire I'm using so you can see a little bit better what I'm doing. But this is a really simple technique, and I think it turns out very pretty. And of course you could do this with rhinestone cup chain as well, and that'd be very sparkly, but I love the pearl, so I'm going to do it. In terms of what you're going to need is you will need one of these Nunn design open frame pendants. You'll need some size 24 pp cup chain and some 26 gauge wire. I'm just using a craft wire. And then the only tool you're going to need is a pair of cutters. So let's begin. First, you're going to measure out how much of the cup chain you're going to need. To do that, lay the cup chain on top of the outer edge of the frame pendant and hold that closest little link right there. Wrap it around. Okay, so hold on to it and wrap it around. And then do not cut right where you think you need it. Go ahead and mark that spot with your fingernail and cut 2 additional little links. And we're doing that because one of the great things about cup chain is you can squish it together or you can expand it. And when you're doing the wire wrapping, it is going to squish together a little bit. You never quite know how much. So it's good to give yourself a little bit of extra. Now we're going to cut our craft wire. In terms of how much you need, you're going to need about 24 inches. And I'm just going to eyeball it. You can measure it. It's just an estimate. 24 inches should be plenty. So I'm not going to worry too much about being precise on this one. Just know you're going to need more than 10 or 12 inches. And we're going to start by anchoring our wire onto the frame. And to do that, we're going to feed the wire through the frame. We're going to have a little tail of about 1 inch, and we're just going to hold that off to the side. Now we're going to take the end of our wire, and we're going to feed it through the middle of the frame. Pull it. You want to try to prevent it from kinking, so one of the keys to that is just going slow. Okay, now we pulled it to the front. Now we're going to take the end of the wire and we're going to go back through that hole. Okay, we're going to pull it. We're going to pull it nice and tight, and we're going to go back again. So now from the back to the front, and forward, and we're going to do this a total of 3 times. So now I'm going to feed that tail through the loop again and pull it. And I am using 26 gauge wire, particularly because it's really flexible, and that's what I want. Okay, and one more time for that 3rd loop. And nice and tight. Okay, now pull it to the front again. And now we're ready to add our cup chain. So hold the link closest to the little loop. And now what we're going to do, and the first couple are the trickiest, and then it gets really quite easy from there. So we're taking the wire, which is facing us, it's towards the front of the frame, and we're going to loop it over that little metal bridge. And now we're going to come around from the back, going forward again. Like I said, the first 1 or 2 are a little tricky, and then once it's on there, this goes really quick. Okay, make sure that this length of cup chain is out of the way. There it is. So we went over it. Okay, so now we're back in the front. And now instead of moving on to the next bridge, we're going to go ahead and do one more wrap around this one. So from the front to the back over that thread bridge. I shouldn't say thread bridge, I'm used to bead weaving terms. Over that metal bridge between the little links of your cup chain. Okay, and then from the back to the front. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and go over to the next little link. And up and over that metal bridge again. Around to the back. This is what we've got. Now take your wire, go from back to front, remember we need to do that one other loop over that same bridge, because that's anchoring it. If we just went like this, 1, 1, 1, 1, it wouldn't be very secure. So we want to make sure we do that extra little loop every time. And now we're ready to go on to the next one. So this almost feels like whip stitching. And we're just going to do this all the way around. Let me show you what it looks like. I'll do a few more on camera here. You can just fast forward through this if you've already kind of got the hang of it. And then what I'll do is I'll finish the other loops off camera, but then come back to show you how to actually finish off the piece at the end. And you're noticing, if you're still watching the video at this point, you haven't fast forwarded, you notice that this is getting actually quite a bit easier to do the wire. It's because that this cup chain is now securely anchored on there. I'm ready to do my last link. And remember I left 2 extra ones. It looks like I'm just gonna need 1 of them. So I'm gonna snip off this last one. But it's better to be safe than sorry. Okay, so we've got 1 more to wrap. We're going to do it the same fashion as the other ones. There we go. Then 1 more anchoring loop. All right. So now this is where we started. I'm going to go ahead and take this one short tail, that was the beginning tail, and I'm going to just trim it off. Now I'm going to take the long tail, which we've been doing all of our wrappings with, and feed it through the loop. And we're going to make 3 wraps with it the same way we did our starting wraps. So there's 1, just through the loop, back and forth. 2, and just 1 more to go. And 3. And probably, there we go, we pulled it through and down. Now I'm going to pull it to the underside, and then I'm just going to snip it. There we go. And we are done. So now what I want to do is I want to turn it over so you can see what the wrappings look like on the inside of the frame. So they're actually quite pretty, they're decorative. And so this would look nice as a finished piece. You could hang an earring hook on it, or you can hang it from a chain. You might even want to consider putting a charm or some little focal piece in the middle of it. You can find all the supplies, including the cup chain, the wire, and the Nunn design open frame pendants at Beadaholique.com.